So I've just came across this article, guys. The 15,000 Scots children shipped to Canada. A search is underway for the families of up to 15,000 vulnerable children from Scotland's children's homes who were shipped to Canada in a programme of forced immigration and cheap labour that lasted almost 100 years. They were all shipped to Canada, them children. Researchers in Canada are supporting families to secure the records of those transported by charities including Quarriers, which is the home that Sandy and Jane are saying that they got abused in, and Bernardo's, which also has abuse allegations against it, as part of the British Home Children programme that lasted from 1963 until the 1970s. The programme was originally to free children from the hardships of the slums and the poorhouse and give them a fresh start in the clean air of rural Canada that was desperate for a workforce, yet they got murdered, raped and tortured. So that's a group of children. They look about 16 to me. There was kids that went there. While some did fare well, many young ones suffered further trauma after being split from their brothers and sisters, and in some cases told they were unwanted, and even that their parents were dead. Jesus Christ. Parents were sometimes told of their child's departure long after they had set sail, according to Laurie Oscovecchi, the founder of the British Home Children Advocacy and Research Association, BHCARA. So they were taking the children, they were sending them off to Australia, and then the mothers and fathers were like, where's my kids? They were like, they're gone. Yeah? Nothing you can do about it. That's what they were like. Nothing you can do about it. Oh, they've got blood on their hands. She said the British Home children were sent away to work, some never to see their families again. Our mission is to bring the true story to light and to reunite families with the truth. Well, I think we need the truth, don't we? Eh? She's helped at least 12 families in Scotland connect with the facts surrounding their ancestors and plug huge, often painful gaps in their histories. There are families in Scotland who have lost family members to this programme who have no idea what happened to them, because they're dead. When we look back on our histories, it may not be pretty, but it helps to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Yeah, well, the government's been selling children, from care homes that we've been paying for. Children aged between 6 and 16 were transported, with the younger ones adopted and the older boys and girls sent to work as indentured domestic servants and farm labourers, because the paedophile, the younger the better, so they wanted the kids, and then the older ones that, were just basically, they didn't want them, they sent them to work. How disgusting. Some had originally ended up in care due to parents' poverty or sickness, yet the government created the poverty to take the children. Only 2% of the children sent to Canada were actually orphans, according to researchers. So only 2% were orphans. So what? 98% of them were not. So they were stolen then, forced adoption. Both of the British and Canadian governments supported the programme and paid a grant, bet they did, either £2 or £3 for every child resettled. Oh my God, wow. In addition, Canada paid bonuses to homes that provided large volumes of children. So there was bonuses for anyone with a care home. More than 100,000 children were sent from the UK in total to Canada. 100,000 children. Australia and New Zealand, with Gordon Brown apologising for the country's role in the scandal. Well, Gordon Brown, I'm sure Who was the one? Oh, hang on. In Canada, only a handful of the immigrant children are known to be still alive. Yeah, because they were raped and murdered. They include John Valant, originally from Aya, who arrived on a farm in Quebec in 1939, aged 13, after being housed with Bernardos following the death of his mother. Mr. Valance, who later joined the Canadian Army, recalled a good life at his new home, but had no contact with his brothers or sisters for 50 years. He has since been reunited with relatives in Scotland. Rachel Angus, born in 1975, and Loris arrived in Quebec on 6 June 1882 with a twin brother. Both had been earlier dropped at the orphanage in Glasgow by the grandmother. John Rowland from Burnsland in Fife was sent to Quarriers after his mother was forced to go into domestic service. Within a year, he was sent to work on a farm in Ontario with his mother's protest was not enough to stop his passage. Blah, blah. Mr. O'Shea was motivated to set up the group following the experience of her own mother, who was shipped to Canada from a workhouse in Hertfordshire, aged just 2. Although she was placed in a good home, she was badly traumatised after learning of her true past when 17. She did not tell her own children of being a British home child until she was 86. Wow. British home children were badly stigmatised. They were thought of as the dregs of the UK and given derogatory labels. Many carried that shame throughout their lives. Don't know why it keeps jumping like this. And many weren't given an education. I don't think anyone was given an education worthy. Both Quarriers and Bernardos is working with the BHCARA to share information with. A spokeswoman for Quarriers said that 7,394 children migrated from Quarriers to Canada between 1872 and 1939. The organisation, amongst others, is also sharing information on its immigration policy with the Scottish Child Abuse Inquiry. She added, when William Quarrier established the Orphans' Home in Scotland in 1871, as Quarriers was then known, it was with the specific intention of children migrating to Canada as an alternative to the slums of Glasgow or the poorhouse. After decades of sharing information with migrants and their descendants, we have developed a greater understanding of the lifelong impact of being a home child. Quarriers remains in regular contact with Canadian descendants of children who came from the orphan homes of Scotland. We understand the importance and value of family history and provide family members with access to all historical records we hold about their relatives. Well, I don't think so, because, people are still fighting for, the records are just a fucking load of bullshit, mate. Bullshit. There you go. Quarriers' home in Scotland, where Sandy and Jane have been horrifically abused.